What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have some very interesting NBA news to, of course, be talking about with you guys. Reportedly being said by Mark Spears, there is a very big chance that the Golden State Warriors actually look to sign Demarcus Cousins, with it actually being said as well that Demarcus Cousins has recently worked out with the Golden State Warriors and did a separate workout with Draymond Green, and that both parties are very interested in each other. It's being said that Green told Cousins that he would love for the Golden State Warriors to have him back on the team. Now, there's a lot of really interesting things going on here, because I'm super surprised that Demarcus Cousins is not on an NBA team yet. It was being said that he didn't want to return to Denver because he actually wanted to be a starter on his own team. Now, the interesting thing was Denver's answer to this was, let's bring in DeAndre Jordan, which I find to be so funny, because I think, no hate to DeAndre Jordan. Actually, you know what? A lot of hate to DeAndre Jordan. That guy does the exact same thing that I do on an NBA court. Pretty much nothing. That is literally what happens. When I play basketball, I'm looking like I run around like a chicken with his head cut off, doing absolutely nothing but taking space. And that's what DeAndre Jordan kind of reminds me of, in my opinion. And what I actually think is really interesting in this is, clearly they would have rathered probably Demarcus Cousins than DeAndre Jordan, but he just didn't seem to want to go back. He averaged 9 points, 5.5 rebounds on 32.5% from 3 in the 14 minutes per game that he played for them. Which makes me completely think that I don't think this guy wants to come back to Denver to be their backup big man, because there is no room for him to actually start there. Now, there's a couple of contending teams that I automatically rule out. I don't think the Clippers will necessarily want him back, the Bucks, etc. Those type of teams he just spent time on, I don't think they're going to have him back. But a team like the Golden State Warriors, who doesn't necessarily have a starting center locked in, I think would be a really interesting and awesome one. Because even though we know, I think that James Wiseman will probably be starting this year, I think there is a lot of room for them to still look at Demarcus Cousins, because again, touch wood that James Wiseman doesn't get injured, but that guy got injured so much last season. Like, he couldn't stay healthy, he had multiple different issues, and again, they kind of just ran Kevon Looney as their main big man, with Nemanja Bjelica coming off the bench. You know, Bjelica is not there anymore. I don't know where he went. I can't even remember. I don't actually think he even went to an NBA team. But you still got, Kevon Looney there. But Kevon Looney is a dude that usually only plays around 18 to 25 minutes per game. The reason is because he's very limited with what he does. He pretty much just runs around, sets screens, and gets rebounds, and is a pretty decent defender. The reality is, I say that, but he does every single thing at such like a high standard. But they do have some issues sometimes where they like to go smaller, and Kevon Looney is just not really doing it for them. And again, they can still do that with James Wiseman when they run it a little bit smaller. But honestly, I feel like Demarcus Cousins is actually the perfect type of guy to replace Nemanja Bjelica on the team, because Bjelica actually still averaged around 16 minutes per game on 6 points and 4 rebounds off the bench while shooting 36% from 3. The reality is, Demarcus Cousins is a pretty good 3-point shooter and a pretty underrated one. If he can train and get better at that and get more NBA consistency under his belt, I could see Demarcus Cousins maybe playing like 18 or 22 minutes per game, with the Golden State Warriors averaging maybe something like 8 to 9 points per game, like 6 rebounds, but also like a 35% from 3 type thing, and much better defense than what Nemanja Bjelica put up. And I think that would be a really awesome thing. And look, this could be one of the closest situations where he actually gets to starting. Because again, who knows how many games James Wiseman's going to be healthy for. And if they actually get a healthy Demarcus Cousins, who is putting up good production and doing what Nemanja Bjelica did, just at a higher level with much better defense, he could actually find himself starting a lot of games for the Golden State Warriors. And I think it would be a really awesome thing, because I feel like DeMarcus Cousins and the Warriors might actually have unfinished business. He never really got to do anything with the Golden State Warriors, and he just was injured like that whole entire season he was there. And again, it would have been very unfortunate for him, and as I said, I just think he has unfinished business. Then of course he missed like the whole entire 19 to 20 season with an injury, and never played for the Los Angeles Lakers. And to be honest, that is the other team I think he has unfinished business for. I think if he doesn't sign with the Golden State Warriors, a team that I actually think he could start full-time in, possibly the only team in the NBA where DeMarcus Cousins, I think, could start full-time at, is the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'm being completely honest when I say this. Anthony Davis wants to play the 4, right? He wants to play the 4. It's no secret that he wants to do that. Not just that, I think he tries a lot harder and his defense is a lot better when he does that. And I really like when they have another center alongside Anthony Davis. And apparently he's been working very hard in the offseason, so I think they should completely do it. But the reality is, the centers they've brought in are Damian Jones and Thomas Bryant. I don't mind Damian Jones. I think he actually proved a bit in his last season. He could be a nice dude that comes in and plays maybe 12 minutes per game off the bench, but I don't like Thomas Bryant. I remember when they signed Thomas Bryant, all of the people in the comments saying that this was an L signing, and that people, the Wizards fans were so happy that he kind of left. Reality is, I think DeMarcus Cousins would be perfect for the Los Angeles Lakers, because he could then start at center, and then you can bring Thomas Bryant off the bench for like 15 minutes per game when you need some offense. But reality is, DeMarcus Cousins, I think, is a much better defender, especially when he's healthy. I also think he would fit really well with Anthony Davis, so I would really like to see that. But of course, maybe that's a different conversation for another video on why maybe the Lakers should sign DeMarcus Cousins and why I think he would be perfect for them. But for now, as I said, we're talking about the Warriors. When it comes to the Warriors, I do think DeMarcus Cousins would be, really, really good for them. The reality is, they lost a bunch of players in free agency. We know that Otto Porter Jr., of course, decided to leave. A couple other players here and there. Jordan Poole still hasn't been, I think, re-signed on a big, contract yet. But yeah, there's a lot going into it, and at the time of making this video, I believe they only have about 11 or 12 players contracted. They're going to need to bring in some more, and I realistically think that there are a bunch of players they could do that with, but I think a player that would be so perfect would be DeMarcus Cousins, because why not even have 3 centers on the roster? I know they probably can't play power forward, but honestly, I think James Wiseman and DeMarcus Cousins could share the floor together. It maybe wouldn't fit in with how Golden State run their stuff, but I still would really like it, and I just think it makes a lot of sense with Golden State. You also get a great replacement in case James Wiseman goes down with an injury. Again, touch wood that he doesn't, but even Kevon Looney had his injuries here and there this season, especially at the start of it. Why not bring in DeMarcus Cousins? I think he would be a really good option, and he would improve their depth quite a bit. And if you don't like him, you can waive him anytime. Again, I still think the Lakers should bring him in, but it is what it is. I think he would be perfect for the Warriors. Of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you guys think the Golden State Warriors should, of course, sign DeMarcus Cousins? Again, I definitely would really like to know. Subscribe to my gaming channel, my IRL/vlog channel, and this channel if you haven't already. And again, I will be, very excited for this if this happened. But I think, yeah, the Lakers should be the one. But a lot of signs do suggest that DeMarcus Cousins could actually be signing with the Golden State Warriors. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.